Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining in today. My name is Zanzi, and I am the host of the Showcase AMA series here in the Polygon Discord. Today, we have two special guests coming in from the Mysterium Network. How are you guys doing today?
We're really good. Thanks for
Yeah.
having us here, Sansi.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Really happy to have both of you here. I always like to kick this off doing introductions. So, why don't we talk a bit about who you guys are? What's your backstory? What got you into the crypto space? What's that journey been like? And what ultimately got you involved with working on the Mysterium Network project?
Sure. Savannah, do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure, I can jump in. I'm Savannah, I'm head of brand at Mysterium. So I work mostly with marketing team and some business development and partnerships. I started with Mysterium in 2019, but before that, I was working in the Web3 space since about end of 2017. I met the Mysterium team through a former colleague of mine who told me all about this anonymity network, and I wanted to know how it worked. I wanted to understand the networking features and how we can unblock internet, and I got really excited by it. Yeah, I applied for a role there. Although I love DeFi, I think I am kind of more into the peer-to-peer internet resource place now.
All right. So yeah, thanks, Savannah. My name's Donatas. I joined a bit later than Savannah. So I joined mid last year. So it's now almost a year I'm at Mysterium, and I'm working with all the products we have at Mysterium. So I hope we'll have a chance to show you and showcase them today. About my background, so the whole career I worked in tech companies. Various things starting from ad tech to the banking sector and then finally crypto. How I got to Mysterium. So couple of guys who actually started in the Mysterium very early. I knew them from the previous companies, and then we have been talking from time to time on how Mysterium is doing, and what product they're trying to build. And then I guess like 2 years later, we have been talking with one of those friends, and he said, "Look, we have an opening in the team." And then I was thinking, yeah, why not? It's actually really interesting, and they already had some good progress with the product, and then I decided to join. So for now, I'm really excited. The team is amazing, and yeah, we're building some great stuff here.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's awesome to meet both of you. Thanks for sharing your backstories. Let's jump into Mysterium. So, when was Mysterium started? What inspired it? And what services does it provide?
Okay, so I'll jump in. So Mysterium started in 2017. We had a successful token sale, one of those original projects for crowdfunding. And we built one of the first permissionless VPNs. So it's powered by a distributed exit node network. So we have a couple of products. The first is the VPN, and the second is the dashboard for nodes that you can join the node network and earn crypto through. So the main goal of Mysterium is actually to provide censorship-proof, borderless internet. So users everywhere can access information, news media, streaming content, pretty much anything online. So over 1/4 of the world actually use a VPN every day. A lot of it's to access sites like Netflix, but it's also used for other really important reasons like accessing Wikipedia or news sites or even Twitter, which is a use case happened in the past. So some protesters can coordinate and communicate with each other. So I guess protecting internet freedom, it's also about protecting, basic rights like freedom of expression, freedom of speech, which can easily be cut off governments or ISPs through internet shutdowns. So Mysterium basically just wants to make the internet more accessible, more secure, and yeah, just borderless and get rid of this splinternet that's been increasing over time.
That's epic.
Is
That's such
that
a powerful value proposition. So, how does this all work?
Right. So maybe for context, if I'm sure lots of people already understand how a regular VPN works, but regular VPNs, they're not really addressing the issue of censorship or blackouts on an infrastructure level. They only do this on the app level. And also because they're centralized, they can log your browsing data and activity in servers, which is also a risk. I think it was back in 2019 that NordVPN server was hacked and personal data was leaked. So with Mysterium's VPN, we don't have any central servers. So instead, we have the distributed network, which is made up of nodes run every day by people, similar to Tor browser. So there's nowhere to store logs. So we're fully encrypted, and we have over 10,000 nodes in the network right now, which anyone can join and rent out their IP address. And all the nodes earn cryptocurrency every time a user connects to the node, or their node in particular, via the VPN app. So it's peer-to-peer and permissionless. It's a marketplace essentially, and yeah, it can help people in countries experiencing internet blocks or firewalls, places like China or Iran, and they can access content from over 120 countries where all of our nodes are based and spread around. Actually, one thing that I wanted to add as well is that the node network actually provides service for businesses as well. So we do have a B2B service called Lavify, and we already have 8 businesses who plug into the network for their own needs. So, VPNs, proxies, and more recently, data scraping companies. So we are bringing in traffic for nodes from the B2C side through the VPN and also through B2B channels. So we're scaling both sides of Mysterium at the moment.
Wow, this is
I think that
incredibly um, exciting stuff going on. And so, where are you currently at in your development journey?
I think Donatus
Of
would
course,
be.
yeah, yeah, I can take this. So as mentioned, like the Mysterium company has history. It started in 2017 with the ICO, and then the goal was to build this network Savannah was explaining about. And what the huge achievement which we did last year was the launch of the mainnet, and also thanks to Polygon. Polygon is the blockchain we're using in our solution. So we started with the mainnet solution, and last year in November, end of November, we launched our product. So we relaunched our DVPN app, which was also running before, but now it's a proper DVPN app, and we already have over 20,000 of monthly active users there. And then we also launched this business solution to the B2B client. As Savannah mentioned, we already have clients there. And what we have been doing these past 2 quarters, so we have been improving both of these products, and what's now looking like where we're looking forward. So one thing we are still missing for the VPN app, we want to have also iOS app. We currently have apps available for Android, for Windows, for Linux, for Mac OS. So iOS was missing, and we are adding it in the near future. Also, we're improving a lot our infrastructure, making sure that our DVPN app is even more bulletproof. On the other hand, from the node perspective, what we are currently doing, and I'll show you probably a bit of how the whole process of becoming a node looks like. But what we planned there for this year, we want to rework the whole dashboard our node runners have, also to give them more possibilities to earn. So to distinguish between different clients we have in the network. So it's more possibilities and also easier interface. And one of the even more important things, we are also doing changes to our tokenomics model. So we are making sure that all that money which is going through the network, that it's also shared with our MIST token holders. And that's why we also doing improvements to our tokenomics this and next quarter.
Sweet. Um, so one thing you mentioned is that you're deployed on Polygon. So I just want to ask, why did you choose to deploy on Polygon? Was there any other chains you're looking at or looking at deploying on in future? If so, why?
Sure, I can take this as well. So back in 2019, we assessed a lot of layer 2 solutions in development, and back then Polygon fit our purpose really well, and it still fits. We're really happy with the solution. So it provided exactly what we needed. It's the fast blockchain, it's cheap transactions, and the best thing is that we can trust this blockchain. So now we have been running um, before with testnet and now with the mainnet, and we can't complain. So the whole solution is running completely fine. We have both B2C and B2B clients. The network is expanding. Of course, we are doing improvements from our side. I mean, making sure that the payments part, which is crucial for this Polygon integration, works well and smooth. But yeah, so far we're really happy with Polygon, and currently we are not looking for additional solutions. I mean, in the future, you never know. We could have more blockchains, but for now, Polygon works really good.
Cool. That's great to hear. So hearing all about Mysterium, it's got me all fired up. I'm thinking it'd be great if we could jump into a screen share presentation and visualize how everything works.
Sure. So let me just share my screen and doing that right now. Can you see it?
Yeah, it looks great. I'm gonna set it to full screen
All
on
right.
my end. Cool.
So yeah, so what they want to show today, as Savannah and me, we have been explaining. So as Mysterium Network indicates, we're building the network. So we have these two crucial components. On one side, we have our network backbone providers, or how we call them, node runners, and that's the main page for them, which you see right now. While on the other side, we have consumers. So those consumers which are using our DVPN app to connect to the content they need, or like, for example, to unblock the content they need. And also we have those B2B clients, which Savannah mentioned. So what I want you to show, basically how everything looks like um, from provider side, and then later how it also looks like from consumer side. So from provider side, the journey usually starts here. So uh, provider to be, or like node runner to be, comes to this page, and they can see some the most of the most important information to learn more about Mysterium Network, about what is it to run the node, to see what are, for example, top earners. So here you can see like the most popular countries and like the most demanded countries for the nodes are UK, US, France, Germany, and Canada. We also have the full leaderboard where we have all the top nodes in the network, which are getting the most of the traffic and earning most of the missed tokens. And then it's also possible to go to earnings page and, for example, check if, let's say, you are coming from from Germany, you can see how many tokens in, let's say, last 30 days were totally used in total used in Germany. Then, for example, what are the average earnings per nodes, and like what top earning node in Germany is actually earning. You can also read about the pricing rules, calculate your potential earnings, and so on. And like once you decide to join the network, we also have the really nice onboarding page. So here you can learn which devices we are supporting on our network. And in general, you can join the network with any device which is connected to the internet. So it can be your PC or laptop, so Windows, Mac OS, Linux. You can also use Raspberry Pi. You can also use dedicated devices. So, for example, we have partnerships with DAppNode or Avado manufacturers, which are manufacturing blockchain nodes, and then Mysterium is part of the supported software. Or it's even possible to run our node in the data center. So then you can just use this step-by-step wizard. So let's say now I'm on my MacBook. I would select desktop. Then I would select Mac OS. That's something I'm running right now. Then I have really easy instructions on what I have to do to start the node. So there are two options. You can just download the installer, which does everything for you, or you can do and run the command in the Docker tool manually. So I already did that. And then once you do that, once you run the command, you can just click claim node. Then what our software is doing, we're actually looking for the node which was started on your local network. And then in this case, it shows, okay, the node is found. So if I click claim, I then go to this onboarding process. So what you need to do here is basically just to add some simple information to pay for the network registration. So you can pay by using MIST token. It's just only 0.05 MIST needed for this. If you don't have MIST tokens yet, so then you can just use PayPal or credit card. And then after this, that's it. You are running the node. So if I close this, now I can switch to the how it looks, the actual node, which was run well for some time, which I'm actually using for the testing. So in this node interface, you can see who is actually connecting to you, from which countries, how big are the sessions, how much mist you earn. Then you can also, for example, withdraw your earnings or configure when they are automatically withdrawn. So the big difference between other such networks is that we don't limit when you can withdraw the money. You can just easily withdraw it at any time as you want, or even set these automatic withdrawals that it's done for you. And then it goes directly to your Polygon wallet, the earnings in MIST tokens, and then yeah, you can do whatever you want with both. And one of the most recommended things to do with the earnings from the node would be to use the delegation pool, which we have with IQ protocol, and then stake those tokens there and earn rewards based on that. So that's the how it looks from the node perspective, and it's how it is easy to start the node. So for example, now I guess it took like 1 or 2 minutes to do the whole process. So that's one side. That's how our node runner interface looks like. On the other side, we have our VPN app. So let me just see if I share exactly that. Just a second. Okay, and yeah, share this. All right, I think you can see now our VPN app. So that's the desktop app, which we have for Mac OS. And what you can do here, you can actually find all of those nodes run by our community here, and you can connect to any of those nodes. So for example, in the network, we have around 10,000 nodes in total. Why you see the different number here? Because we also take into consideration, because it's a peer-to-peer network, so we're actually connecting directly to the user on the other side. It might be that your connection is not compatible. It might be, let's say, that the node is run on the mobile device, and because of your network settings, you just cannot connect to that. But still, I mean, if you compare to that to any other VPN provider where they would have, I don't know, 50 servers, like 100 servers, here you have like 7,000 servers to choose from. And if we talk about different countries, you can see like the list is basically the whole world. So in total, we have over 120 countries available. Then, let's say I'm choosing United States, and then I can also choose between residential nodes, which have this R next to the identity, or the other ones, they are data center ones. So the pricing is different. Residential nodes, they're more expensive, but then they're also more valuable. If you want to unlock streaming content like Netflix or like Hulu or Amazon or whatever, it's recommended to use the residential node, and then you're not just connecting to some random server as on other VPN apps, but you're actually connecting to a real community member who is sharing his connection, and then you can unlock all the content you need. Uh, our app, it works. The whole network is actually powered by our Mist token. So all the payments, they are also done in peer-to-peer mode. And then Polygon also comes into play here. So when you're using VPN app, you're actually paying directly to the node runner. So for example, if I would start session to this node I have here, I would see that session directly here, and I could see like how the Mist tokens are accumulating. So the payments are made in peer-to-peer mode. How you can top up? You can use Mist tokens directly. So if you already have Mist tokens, you can just directly send them to the app. So app has its own wallet, the Polygon wallet. If you don't have Mist tokens yet, so you can use any of the other top-up methods available. So you can use other crypto, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, and then so on. PayPal, credit card, or yeah, as mentioned, we can just top up with Mist directly. And yeah, that's it. And the other maybe most important thing is that you don't have to register. You don't have to create the account to start this app. You just need to go to our mysteriumvpn.com page, download the app for your platform, and top up it, and yeah, start using it. You don't need to create any account, verify it, or things like this. So you can actually stay truly anonymous with this app.
Cool.
All right. So yeah, I think that's what I wanted to show quickly.
Yeah, that was a fantastic presentation. I really like how intuitive your user interface is. One thing I wanted to ask though was, do you mind breaking down just like the security side of things? Like, say I was to or someone was to run a residential node, and you mentioned that people are able to connect to the internet through that user. Like, how does that look from a security standpoint for the user running the residential node? Is there like any risk to them, or how does Mysterium address those risks?
Sure. So, in terms of the security, for example, if somebody is using your node to connect to the internet, it's only that purpose. So they cannot see anything on your local network or things like this. So that tunnel, which is created between consumer and provider, is used just for that data what consumer wants to transfer, and they cannot see anything on the provider side or access network and things like this. Another important thing is like what our node runners are interested to is how secure is that from the legal standpoint. For example, what happens if somebody downloads the torrent? So you can treat this the same as internet service providers are treating. So if, for example, you're downloading some illegal things, it's not that your internet service provider is responsible, it's you responsible for that. So if you're running the node and you can actually prove that you're running the node, it's similar use case as for Tor network. You're not responsible for that content which goes through your node. And then having this interface where all the sessions are logged. So for example, you can see where the connection came through, like for example, how much data was transferred and how much money you earned. You can actually prove that it wasn't you. On another hand, it's not possible to see the actual traffic which goes through the node. It's encrypted, and like for example, if it's HTTPS traffic, it's impossible to decode it. So from that perspective, our node runners are also on the safe side.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's really interesting to know about the legal perspective that node operators, like technically an internet service provider, so anyone using their node, like they're not responsible for the actions of the people using it. And then, so you're mentioning like a residential node provider, like no one has access to their local network, so they can't see all their devices and stuff. Is their IP address also protected from being exposed as well as?
No, well, technically you cannot hide the IP address because that's what you're looking for. I mean, if you want to change the location, and that's also how all the services or like websites there know where you're coming from because of this IP address. So IP address is exposed, but it's only exposed when you make the connection. So for example, you cannot just come to the network and see all the IP addresses of the providers. But then if you connect to some particular node, yeah, you would see its IP. It basically becomes your IP. So that's how VPN works. But then it's just IP. You cannot get anything else about the provider.
Okay, cool. Thank you for confirming that. Sweet. Yeah, this is a super exciting product that you guys have built out. So you mentioned there's a delegation pool that people could stake their Mysterium token in. So can we just talk a bit more about the Mysterium token? So you mentioned like you earn it for uh, running a node. People pay in Mysterium token to utilize these nodes or VPN services. Is there any other like key features to highlight?
So, well, yeah, as you correctly mentioned, the MIST token is the utility token for the Mysterium network. So basically, the whole Mysterium network is powered by MIST token. So if you want to use Mysterium network, so get access to those node runners, you have to have MIST because you have to pay in MIST, and then node runners they're actually getting those tokens for their service. And so the MIST token is like the currency of the Mysterium network country. Of course, we also need to do things like if someone doesn't have MIST tokens, so we need to convert MIST tokens, let's say from I don't know, USD or like euros or like other cryptos. So we have services and partners for that. And then, as you also correctly mentioned, the second important thing is that it's not just the main currency of the Mysterium network, but you can also, if you're just holding MIST, if you're not using Mysterium network, you can also just put it to the delegation pool and earn rewards. And then how those rewards are accumulated. So Mysterium network is sharing the value created by the network by basically using that delegation pool. So more Mysterium network is used, it means that delegation pool it also becomes bigger. So it's what I'm trying to say is like all of this is interconnected. So there's no artificial demand created, but it just depends on how much Mysterium network is used. So how many consumers and how consumers both from B2C and B2B side we have.
Fantastic. So by the way, guys, I totally forgot to mention if you have any questions for Savannah or Donatas, please drop them in the community voices text channel, or you could also drop them in the voice chat text channel. Um, while we have them here, it's definitely a great privilege to be able to ask them questions directly. So feel free to do so. And so I want to talk about partnerships. Do you have any key partnerships going on right now?
Sure. So what they can mention from the partnership perspective. So I can talk a bit from the software and hardware partnership. So for example, we have hardware partners, which I mentioned also in my demo. So for example, we have partnership with Avado or DAppNode. So those guys are making devices, they're blockchain nodes, and they include Mysterium software there. Um, we are also included as as Mysterium software in the couple of the Helium network hardware makers. Also, we have partnership with a couple of the hardware stores where, for example, Raspberry Pi devices are sold and then they come with pre-installed Mysterium software. So that's more like from the node perspective if somebody wants to become a node runner. From the other side, from the consumer side, as Savannah mentioned, we have these B2B partners which are using the network. So now we have 8 partners from the VPN and data scraping side. Then, let's say for this delegation pool, we are using IQ protocol, their protocol for the MIST delegation pool. I'm just thinking, Savannah, do you have anything else in mind what we can mention?
On the B2B side, no, but just in generally, we do have some partnerships on the marketing and community side, which are kind of exciting. DWeb Camp, Internet Archives Project, DWeb, we're participating in that. So we have like a really big focus on how we can shape and influence the future or like the next gen web, and look at how we can actually collaborate with other projects in the space and fit all the different pieces of the puzzle together to kind of build this next gen technology that makes sure that the internet is actually distributed and community powered and borderless. So we do a lot of R&D, which I guess I can talk about that a bit later as well. We're doing some R&D and looking into how we can innovate VPN and anonymity space as well with partners.
Sweet. Yeah, that's some pretty exciting stuff. Adarsha had a question. They're wondering if you could elaborate on the procedure to become a B2B verified user.
Sure. So it's pretty simple. You can just visit our website. So it could be just a mysterium.network and find the business section there. You can just fill the form and yeah, we'll get back to you. It's simple as that. And on the other hand, what's important to mention, Mysterium Network as it is, it's a permissionless network, meaning that if you don't need any, I don't know, help or like advices from us, you can basically just go to our GitHub, get our node code, which is open source, and just start using it. So we are also proud that we are powering a couple of the other projects which are built on Mysterium Network. So, for example, there is another VPN called Portals, and they are doing just exactly this. They're using our open source code and also our open source VPN apps to have their own product. And yeah, just running business doing this. So it's really easy actually to become this B2B client.
Okay, cool. So, like, I don't know. Do you have anyone that you view as your competitors? Like, I suppose you would view a lot of the traditional VPN providers as competitors, and you definitely already touched on this a lot. But like, what differentiates you from them? Like, what do you see as your key like competitive edge, like to really stand out from all your competitors?
Sure. So,
Oh.
Savannah, you will take that? Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah,
I can
go
jump
ahead.
in a little bit, but you can obviously also add. But I was going
Yeah,
to say,
no, no, go ahead.
other than traditional VPNs, who we would consider our product competitors, Tor as well was something, was a project, a really respectable long-term project, that that's been operating in the space for a long time. So I would consider them a competitor. Um, and then obviously the node network and running a node and earning cryptocurrency and sharing your bandwidth marketplaces are competitors. But I think what differentiates us is that we're kind of a blend of a Tor browser and VPN. So we have the same anonymity, encryption, and tamper-proof qualities like Tor, but we've built the VPN app interface that prioritizes ease of use, and it's very stable, it's fast, it encrypts all of your traffic, not just whatever's through the browser like Tor does. And compared to regular VPNs, which usually lock you into 2 or 3 years subscription, which is a bit ridiculous, we offer pay as you go. So you just top up your VPN account once, you pay only for what you use, and then when you run out, you just top up again. So you just pay with all the popular cryptocurrencies to remain anonymous, or you can use bank cards or PayPal if that's more convenient. But something else that I think is something that helps us stand out a bit more is, other than the permissionlessness, so allowing anyone anywhere to use the VPN or run a node. I think the fact that we're community powered is really important. So the VPN is not owned by a corporation or a company trying to milk as much profit as possible, but instead it's people all around the world who earn for providing the exact same service as a VPN company. So it's all about spreading and sharing value across the web, instead of concentrating in corporations. So I think that's kind of what this movement is about. And yeah, we're trying to help influence that as well. I don't know, Donatus, did you have any other competitive edge?
No, I think yeah, you mentioned all of that very well.
Yeah, and I think that's huge. The distributing it and amongst the community rather than it just being one corporation trying to suck up all the profits. That's a huge advantage for sure, and I think it will definitely be a massively appealing point to majority of people. So basically everybody. One question I have for you guys that I tend to ask this question to everybody that comes on, but what's it been like building in a bear market? Has it affected you much?
Uh, so I would say that this is Mysterium's third crypto winter, actually, or at least while I've been with the team. So we've been around obviously for 4 or 5 years now. And crypto market dynamics don't really affect us as much as DeFi. We actually have a real world use case that's not dependent on crypto prices. So obviously with DeFi protocols and platforms, they're very dependent on market sentiment, hype, stability, speculation, and so on. So with Mysterium, so long as people need a VPN, there will always be demand for our network. But having said that, Mys token was actually listed on MXC Global Exchange last week, which has a direct Polygon withdrawal, so all of our nodes can easily cash out their missed earnings. So we have seen some healthy trading volume and response from the token community, which has been nice. But again, it's not our goal. Our main goal has always been to support the node network as much as possible and make it really easy to interact with our network and token. And second to that, I would say a bear market is a builder's market, which is why it's also the perfect time for us to explore new use cases, try and experiment with the network, see how far we can push the protocol and push the exit nodes. And so we also recently launched an R&D fund, which gives funding to new projects and products who want to build on top of Mysterium. It's called Nectar Labs. So it's kind of a mix between an incubator and an R&D hub. So we are actually looking for projects. If you are a developer or entrepreneur or builder and you have an idea of what we can do with this exit node technology, you can always hit us up, and I can share some links in the chat as well. So the market itself it's not that it hasn't been kind to us, and obviously I feel for the entire community, but it does give us an opportunity to really focus on what's important and focus on the actual tech side of things instead of getting distracted by the financial side of things. And that's just my opinion. Maybe Donatus, you have anything to add on that?
Yeah, no, I would say, I mean, the main thing is that we actually have the real world use case, as Savannah mentioned. So, and especially in like during these times, like then we have lots of geopolitical events going on, and also more and more restrictions being imposed on the internet, on the open internet. Such solutions as Mysterium, they actually thrive in this environment. So because we are offering the answer to that. So as Savannah correctly mentioned, we are not that dependent on the crypto market dynamics as, let's say, DeFi solutions, as we are offering the networking solution, and we see increasing demand for that. And that's also good news for our node runners, because our node network, they directly benefit from this. More consumers we have on one side, then it's more benefits for them. And then talking about the bear market, it also helps to basically highlight those companies who are building true products. So I think this next cycle of crypto, it will bring a lot of good real world use cases built on top of the blockchain, and I really hope that blockchain will show its full potential in these use cases. So I hope the next cycle will be the builders cycle.
Definitely. Congratulations on getting listed on that exchange, by the way. And Savannah, definitely feel free to drop the links that you mentioned, like regarding you're looking for more business development partnerships and relationships. So yeah, definitely drop those if you'd like to. And yeah, it's really captivating um, learning about Mysterium. I feel like there's a lot of stuff that I've learned today and a lot that I should probably research. Like you guys are thriving in a bear market. Like I have a lot of understanding about DeFi, but a lot of this VPN stuff is kind of new to me. So, that, yeah, this has been fantastic so far. Another question that I want to ask is regarding your short term and long term goals. Like, where do you see yourself in the future?
All right, so maybe I can talk a bit about short term, and then Savannah can add about that long term vision. So for the short term, as I mentioned previously, one thing we want to uh, basically complete our product. So add the iOS app also to improve the current app, so to improve the solution that it's appealing to even more consumers, so we can actually take on the traditional VPN. The traditional VPN market as well, and offer these decentralized VPN benefits. We also want to scale our network and introduce required solutions for our B2B partners, so that we can actually make the network even bigger. And as mentioned, our tokenomics, that's also not the last thing we want to do. We want to have this good value sharing with all our Mist token holders who are willing to stake their tokens in the legation pool, and we are working toward that as well. And then, yeah, of course, looking what the next crypto cycle brings. I mean, when we decided to work with the Polygon, it was still the new thing. So we hope that in the next cycle, we also have some exciting solutions which we can incorporate into our project. Savannah, do you want to add anything about the long-term thing?
Yeah, sure. So I guess beyond Mysterium 2.0, which is where we are now, and obviously building some badass products and services for on top of the network, our focus will also be on figuring out where Mysterium fits into the next iteration of the internet. So not only Web3, but beyond that, the web landscape. How can we contribute the most value with our current protocol, and then how can we potentially build some new protocols and infrastructure that will help be the foundation of the next generation of the web. So we're definitely looking very long term into R&D, and just figuring out how we can contribute the most value. And also, Necto, for example, we're trying to identify these early trends and either discover or at least influence solutions that will eventually, replace VPNs. How can we make sure that the internet remains censorship proof? How can we make sure that it's secure? And how can, like I said earlier, how can we spread value and share value amongst everyone rather than it being concentrated in the hands of the few? So yeah, we're kind of focusing on all of these big questions is our long-term strategy.
Yeah, and maybe just one thing to add to Savannah. So For example, we built the VPN solution, or in general the censorship resistant solution, and it helps in the majority of the countries. But there are countries which are trying to well, also doing the opposite thing. So they are trying to restrict as much as possible. So it's kind of the constant fight, and we never know what will happen in the next quarter, next year, and so on. So we also want to be prepared. That's why we are exploring the blockchain technology, also what this decentralization can bring. So how we can be ready for this fight. And as Savannah mentioned, we also want to look into the future. So it's definitely something new is coming, and then VPN maybe it's not staying like for another 20 or 50 years. Maybe it's some better solution there, and we also want to be part of this. So it's always this constant fight for the freedom, for the internet freedom, and we want to stay there as long as we can.
Sweet. Um, that's super exciting. Um, all of this is really fascinating. One thing my audience always likes to ask is there any alpha information you can share? Like, is there any upcoming features or anything that you want to touch upon?
Well, so as Savannah mentioned, we are now at this Mysterium 2.0. So after the mainnet, we also drew another vision what we want to do in the Mysterium 2.0. So the main thing, what we want, I mean, if to summarize everything what I was mentioning, we want to make it as easy as possible for both sides, for the node runner to start the node and share their internet, and to help internet to become more open, and on the other side, if someone wants to use, so that it's really easy to do that as well. So maybe not even downloading the app, but then I don't know, just setting something in your phone, and then just being on the VPN connection, you can access all the information you need. So the like some of the exciting things which are coming really soon. One thing what I was mentioning a couple of times, so we have these changes to the tokenomics, so our users can expect more rewards there, as like the usage of the network is growing. So that's one of the things. Of course, more apps, like mentioned iOS app, and like more specific apps, like for Android TVs, and then so on. Um, Savannah, anything to add there?
Um, no, that sounds pretty good. Other than tokenomics, I mean, yeah, just focusing a lot on R&D, hopefully seeding some new exciting products and exploring some new use cases. So yeah, I guess watch this space, and we'll see what exciting surprises we can bring to the community.
Sweet. So we do have a small amount of time left. So guys, if you have any questions for Donatus or Savannah, while we're lucky enough to have them here, please drop them in the chat quickly. Otherwise, where would the best place to follow up with you be? I've dropped some links in the chat. We got your Mysterium Network website, the um, Nacto Labs website, and then the Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Telegram, Discord, Medium, Reddit. I feel like I'm not missing anything, right?
Looks like an entire menu, yeah.
Yeah, you guys got it all. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we don't
we have
discriminate.
the Yeah, exactly. And then yeah, we have the big community, and it's on Telegram and Discord. So, and it's not just about, I mean, just chatting about Mysterium, but then if we have any question, problem, or like I know something is not working, come there, like somebody from our team or from the community will always help you. So it's quite a big community, and we're really proud actually of our community. They helped us a lot during all these years to move forward, to test things, to test the prototypes and alpha versions and so on. So it's well, I also want to use the opportunity to say thanks to our community for being there with us.
For sure. Yeah, and it makes a lot of sense. You know, you guys are a big community project in a sense. So, you know, it's awesome that you have a very strong community backing you already. Um, oh, we got a question coming in from Siga. For Mysterium, I feel one problem is selecting a node manually. It feels like only popular nodes will be selected. Is there any plan to add a node selector randomizer?
There is actually what I didn't show you. It's already there. I mean, we have this quick connect button or smart connect on our Android app, and then you just need to select that. I don't know, for example, you need the node for media streaming, click smart connect or quick connect on the desktop app, and you will be connected to the random node. And yeah, of course, we are also doing other improvements there so that we want to share this value of the network. I mean, that also the consumer traffic even more evenly between our node providers. We're doing changes there. Of course, not all the nodes are equal on the other hand. So if somebody is sharing their fiber connection, it's definitely better if someone is sharing DSL connection. On another hand, there are different use cases for that. So, for example, one connection could be really good for streaming, another connection could be really good for data scraping. So that's why we are also working hard to get all these different use cases to the network. So it's not just a traditional VPN for let's say streaming and content unlocking, but it's also very different use cases like data scraping. So all these earnings, they can be shared even more equally. But yeah, just coming back to the question, we already have this quick connect or smart connect feature, so just try that.
Great, that's fantastic that you guys have already addressed that. And yeah, like I've already said, this has been such an incredible, informative session. I feel like I've learned so much, so I'm sure everyone else has too. Very enlightening and very grateful to have both of you here as guests and have the opportunity to meet you both. Really appreciate your time.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thanks so much,
likewise. So
Nancy.
yeah, thanks for having us today, and yeah, looking forward to future cooperation with Polygon. So far, yeah, as mentioned, it was really good partnership.
Hmm.
Absolutely, that's great to hear. And you guys are always welcome to come back and do this anytime in the future if you'd like to. It's been a ton of fun. So
Thanks for hosting. Thanks for having us. Been a pleasure.
yeah, likewise. And thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in today. I hope you all have a wonderful day. I'm gonna end the event now. So, cheers, everybody.
Yeah, thank
Sweet.
you.
Catch you later. Bye.